Hello, we are Team Asimo, and our creation is the Awareness, a prosthetic that feels good. So starting out, our main problem statement was that disabled veterans need help adjusting to the loss of an arm. Throughout taking our problem statement, learning on it, studying it, researching it, we found out that those who have lost an arm have a hard time doing some basic operations, such as opening doors, changing their clothes, picking up trash, and etc. We also had to take into account the possibility of losing the arm may just be losing the hand, or perhaps the entire arm itself. So weighing those different options, we also looked into the physical and mental anguish of somebody who's lost either their whole arm or just a hand, and how they have to get through their everyday life physically and mentally. And then finally, we've come to the conclusion that the main thing we're trying to fix here is these people's ability to regain their independence, do things on their own again.
Who is impacted? The primary impact is on the main user, a disabled veteran suffering from a loss of a limb, specifically the hand, thus losing feeling in this hand. Second, the family and friends of the user. When the prosthetic is placed onto the user, less help is needed for the user. The workforce is also impacted by the problem. When the prosthetic is developed and placed onto the user's hand, it gives them the ability to feel their surroundings, allowing them to better participate in job-like activities. Defined users. Project related. Primary would be disabled veteran missing limb. Secondary, family and friends of this disabled veteran. Tertiary, the workforce. In the real world, primary would be a disabled individual needing a limb for sensing. Secondary, family and friends of the individual. Tertiary, the workforce requiring hand sensory.
This product is designed for veterans on medical retirement with less than 20 years of military service. The target group are young enough to not qualify for most assisted living facilities and may either live alone or have dependents at home that they need to support, and they need to adjust faster to using a prosthetic. Basic tasks like cooking, cleaning, and general self-care are severely limited by the loss of a hand. Our device aims to improve the user's experience acclimating to use of a prosthetic device for these activities, with the addition of sensory output from the device. This journey can also be expanded beyond the initial narrow demographic to any persons who lose a hand in their adult life and need to continue supporting themselves. The sensory output will aid the user in adjusting
in hopes that users will feel more aware within their surroundings, protecting their prosthetic, but more importantly, delivering a sense of independence. Developing a prosthetic hand, implementing temperature sensors along with EMG sensors, and responsive servos to ensure full functionality, protection, ease of adjustment for the user. NTC thermal resistor temperature sensors attached along the prosthetic hand will allow feedback to be delivered to the user in various ways. LEDs are oriented in such a way to indicate the intensity of a temperature on all spectrums. Finger movement will be controlled using EMG electrode. When flexing the forearm, electrical impulses generate by muscle trigger the finger to move via microservers. In situations where temperatures are exceeding the threshold of proper operations, preventing damage or harm, the prosthetic will alert the user via light, sound, or vibration. In extreme conditions, the prosthetic will prevent from either gripping onto an object, hot or cold, or releasing from an object depending on the initial conditions.
So, one thing that our team did to allow us to work so well together is to develop what we called a social contract. So the social contract was an agreement between all of us that established rules and expectations and behaviors for us as a team. We covered 5 major areas: trust, empathy, respect, courage, and openness, and we all agreed to follow this contract throughout the entire semester. We ended up upholding this contract, mainly by fostering a place where ideas can be safely shared. We never shot down an idea immediately. We'd always talk about it and kind of work through the idea. We would always utilize the software Discord for virtual meetings if we needed to do a quick talk or have an elongated conversation. Discord handled that quite well for us. We would communicate constantly over Discord, talk back and forth, share ideas, just kind of get a good overview of what's going on, and we never let a good idea go to waste. If there was an idea that we could even see a spattering of good in, we fleshed it out to its fullest extent. And finally, some major takeaways throughout this entire Ipro class was we learned how to work on a team very well, learn how to share ideas in an environment, foster them to creativity, how to evenly distribute our own workload so everybody has equal parts, no one has too much, no one has too little, how to utilize a Kanban board, which we found out to be very, very helpful throughout this entire class and working on the project to kind of organize our work. And then finally, how to take a step back and look at the bigger picture instead of just the small thing we're working on currently, but how this small piece reacts to the entire creation as a whole. Thank you guys for watching, and we would now like to take this time to answer any questions you may have.